Raider Nation, what is the deal, man? Once again, you are back for another episode here of the Raider Rundown, man. And today, no live today, but what we're going to do, man, it is the bye week. You know, your boys still can't be dropping nothing. We still going to be talking about what the Raiders did or did not do during the trade deadline. Was that a mistake? Where do they go going forward from here? You feel what I'm saying? After the bye week, what is the plan? And really, what's some of the hot coaching rumors and some of the news that we might have to get into about this coaching staff and going forward, man? So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's get the intro started, and let's get the show cracking. What is happening, man? What is the deal? Like I said, you are back for another episode here of the Raider Rundown, man. Don't forget to tap on that like button at the very least for the boy, man. And if you're really feeling what you're hearing, man, make sure you're tapping on the subscribe button as well so you get updated and notified whenever I go live or drop episodes like this, man. So you already know what it is, man. Without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get into the episode, man. Raiders quiet during the trade deadline, man. During coming into this bye week, not a lot of moves being made, and I am a fan of it, right? I saw some people, say we should have really got Mike Williams or really try to make a move for that. I'm not on that. We can start there. I'm not on the Mike Williams train. Never really been a huge fan of Mike Williams. One, he's gonna miss some time. He's always gonna be injured, bro. Always hurt. And two, didn't make no sense for where we're at right now. A veteran, aging wide receiver ain't gonna make no sense for where we're at as a team. You got to go try to find a young guy or younger guy, right, that has more years ahead of him. So I wasn't a fan of that Mike Williams move. Glad we didn't pull it off. The Steelers did, but I'm glad we didn't do it. Cool. I mean, people were talking about Jakobi Meyers as well. I don't think it was smart for us to trade Jakobi Meyers. I said it in the live, man. He's going to be great for a young wide receiver. A young quarterback, right? He's going to be great for a young quarterback, I believe. He's a real reliable weapon, although I don't think he has the explosiveness to be a number one wide receiver. I do think he has the consistency to definitely be sort of like a 1B type of thing, you know what I mean? Which I definitely already think he is now. I just don't know if he's that upper echelon number one. I still think you would get somebody a little more explosive to try to take that role. But I like Jakobi. I'm not a fan of trading him. Don't make no sense. And last but not least, man, a lot of people are talking about trading Kolton Miller, trying to get some assets. That don't make no sense either, man. You have a young quarterback, bro. We're going to need to surround him with as many veteran pieces for that first year as possible. Plus, I never thought Thayer Munford will be the successor to Kolton on the left side. If he's going to be playing, it's going to be on that right side, right? And even now, that's very slim to none because he done lost the job to the Rook, right? You feel me? So at this point, Thayer Munford getting on the field, very slim if it's not going to be that swing tackle role, bro. I definitely don't want to see him take over for the starting left tackle. I don't think he's there. I don't think he will ever be there, honestly. And we're going to have to draft that replacement, in my opinion. It's going to have to be drafted because we talk about Kolton and how long does he have left. I really think he has a good 2 to 3 years left. And if you draft somebody, that's a good time frame for them to learn. And then for you to be able to move on from Kolton Miller and insert that substitution. So I think we got to wait. Let the young quarterback that we're going to get go ahead and have as many veterans around him as possible. I think that should be the thing. Main topic of it, though, I don't think the Raiders should have been sellers, buyers. I think exactly what they did is exactly what they should have been doing, which is nothing. Stay put, sit your ass down, right? You ever know, like, a friend of yours, dude, girl, whatever the case, you just got a friend of yours, right? They don't know how to sit the fuck down when they make mistakes, right? Or just at any point, you're like, bro, all right, relax, sit down, right? You ever go out with your drunk friend, he just keep doing dumb shit, right? He'll fuck around, spill his drink on somebody, he moving around, right? He telling everybody, my bad, bro, it's my bad. Okay, you tell your friend, hey, go sit the hell down real quick. Sober up. But the motherfucker just don't know how to listen, right? He just gets up and he's like, fuck it. Bro, that is what the Raiders would have been if we would have traded. It don't make no sense, bro. It don't make no sense whatsoever. Sit your ass down, sober up in this bye week, right? Get some water in you, and let's figure out when the fuck you're going home. Because as of right now, bro, it's a wrap, right? Like, for the Raiders, bro, let's sober them up, get and figure out how the season is going to end. Because as of right now, we're limping to the end of the season. No injury report. Of course, it's a bye week, but we already know, bro, the injury report looks like CVS receipts. So it's not going to be no surprise, even if we showed it, and there's a lot of people on that goddamn list. It's a lot of people on that list. And usually that does not bode well for your team's chances of success. So where do we go after this bye week, man? We have Miami after this week, which by all means, I definitely think is a winnable game if certain things go right. But we have to talk about kind of the official hire. I mean, we talked about it already, but we have to talk about the official hire, and that's kind of going to lead us into what we're going to do after this bye week. But the Raiders do officially, right, hire Scott Turner as the interim OC. Now, his pops didn't think he was going to come in as a regular OC anyway, but Pops comes to help him, basically advise him. So going into next week, this is where we're going, right? And it's very, very interesting to see how this offense is going to come out and how they're going to look, because how Scott Turner going to implement his own little twist to this offense is something that I have no idea, right? I have no idea how he's going to do. Now, right, we already know Scott Turner spent his first 3 seasons or prior 3 seasons before joining us, the Commanders. And he had pretty good numbers with people over there, right? He had Terry McLaurin, balling out. Terry McLaurin is a real one, but had 1,000-yard tenure. So it's not like he's not great, but he's not terrible in my opinion like that either. He's not the long-term solution at all. And we'll talk about that before we end it off, but I don't think he's the long-term solution. But as of right now, it can be cool for what, right? It can be cool for what you have. So we got Miami next week. Coming off of this bye, I do expect the offense to have a little different wrinkle to it. I definitely expect that. But also, I don't expect a huge amount of change, right? I mean, you saw kind of the Jets do the same. And when I look at their offense isn't like exactly totally different. They're just, maybe calling in a different sequence, but it's not a different offense, bro. The same shit they've been running. They got the same problems they've been had, right? Just the difference is it's just a little bit more free, and what you can tell, and ain't no damn coaching or whatever the case over there as of right now. It's just like it's do what he does, right? Aaron doing what he does. We don't have that over here. We ain't got no quarterback that's going to do what he does, right? So we have to rely on the fact that these coaches have to know what the hell they're doing, right? These coaches have got to know what the hell they're doing. And if they do not, it's going to be a real shit show, in my opinion. It's going to be a real shit show. Because we'll talk about it in a little bit. You fired basically your staff, right? You fire your entire staff. Well, offensively. You get rid of them all. You tell them, all right, bro, we no longer need your services. By all means, they weren't doing a great job, but we don't need your services, right? Cool. But now it's like, you look, bro, no offensive line, no quarterback coach, no offensive coordinator, and now we're just sitting here with some motherfuckers that just got here. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they just got here and they only got 2 weeks. 2 weeks of really getting it in. So to me, it's gonna be a real shit show, to be honest. I think it could only get worse. It can only get worse because, like I said, we ain't got no coach. So how the fuck are we going to? It's real. I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do. To be honest with you, I'm really trying to figure out what is the best route for the Raiders to go, because as much as I may have to sound, as much as I may try to make this sound like, oh, I don't want to give you false narrative, right? Because we weren't a very good team before the change. Okay, turnovers and all this. There's talent, but ultimately, bro, like the talent is not enough to compete with some of these upper echelon teams week in and week out if we're not playing perfect football, right? If we're not playing perfect football, it's going to be very, very hard. Very, very hard to stay competitive with some of these teams, bro, because we just don't have the talent, I believe, in order for us to do what we have to do. Now, I'm trying to find this. There we go. I was trying to find this little clip right here. It's 3 minutes. We're not gonna watch the whole 3 minutes, but basically this clip is kind of leading us into the show right here, right? And they are basically having a conversation on how Antonio Pierce firing this coaching staff can look, right? How can it look? And by all means, they bring up some good points. And me, I am a full participant in saying let AP get his shine, let him get his time to really build this coaching staff. Pick up some good points, and we're going to listen to it a little bit here, man.
Looking for some new coaches because the Raiders made some massive changes to their offensive staff, firing OC Luke Getsy, O-line coach James Craig, and QB coach Rick Scangarello. What's next out in the desert, out for the Raiders?
Okay, let's look at how this coaching staff is constructed. All right. You had offensive coordinator Luke Getsy, who, let's be clear, was not their first choice. We know their first choice was Cliff Kingsbury, and then he dipped out when he was like, oh, I can go to the Commanders and Dan Quinn and the number 2 overall pick. All right, I'm heading over to Washington. So you get Getsy, who may become the first offensive coordinator in a while to be fired twice within a 10-month span, right? Fired in Chicago, now fired here in Vegas. You fire the quarterbacks coach. There's an assistant quarterbacks coach, Fred Walker. He's probably going to be elevated to quarterbacks coach. Okay, got that. Offensive line, Kyle, and I know that you're biased, but honest to God, I hear this from so many head coaches and head coach candidates. After your coordinators, your top hire is the offensive line coach. You put aside money for the coaching salary pool to make sure you get your offensive line coach. The Raiders didn't have an assistant offensive line coach. They had one O-line coach, and they just fired him. Now, they do have Joe Philbin, senior offensive assistant, obviously the former Miami Dolphins head coach. He cut his teeth with the offensive line. You imagine that he's probably going to make a move there. Scott Turner, the passing game coordinator, the former offensive coordinator with the Washington Commanders. Expect him to be the OC with the Raiders. And I just reported a little bit ago that Norv Turner, long-time veteran NFL.
So basically, we cut it off there. Basically saying, there's not enough guys on this staff to really from the beginning, right? If you really listen to what he's saying, really from the beginning, there was not enough on this staff to really, really assemble and really make sure we have the best plan possible for this team. What it sounds like, right? And people bring up a great point when you talk about Antonio Pierce, which is, does he have the connections in the NFL to put together a quality staff? Does he have those connections? Now, I would say some of the personnel hirings that he's done, some of the position coaches that he's hired, I like those, right? Like some he hit on. When you talk about the secondary coach is very good, right? I like the secondary coach in my opinion. We can't really judge the D-line coach too hard because, goddamn, his whole goddamn unit is a mass unit. It's hard to try to judge that accordingly, right? It's kind of hard to judge that accordingly. But he has certain guys that he's brought in that are not bad. But for the most part in the staff, and they make a great point, right? They said it later on in the video, the staff is kind of a hodgepodge, kind of a mixed together bag of guys who came in and didn't really know each other from previous coaching stints, right? And usually when you get a coaching staff, you usually have a staff that they know each other from previous stints, right? They can talk to each other. They pretty much know how each other think. When you're trying to learn another coach as well as your players, it can get real muddy and watery on how things are going to work, right? How things are going to work. The communication can be messed up from the jump. And you can see even on the offensive side, especially, it didn't seem like everybody was on the same page, right? And usually you can eliminate that if you have some familiarity with the coaches in between and amongst themselves. But as of right now, like, you can tell there was no continuity. You can tell the communication was low. Everybody damn near on the offense looking around. What are we supposed to do? Why is this not working? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you can see it. So that was evident. Now, to end off the show, we'll talk about it like this. Is Antonio Pierce coaching for his job for the rest of the season? In my opinion, the way it's all shaken out, the way everything is going, I give it right now, I'm still sitting at a 60-40, not 60-40. Nah, 65-35, right? 65%, I still think he's staying. 35%, I think he's coaching for his job. That I ain't gonna cap. Now, it's fluid. I'm fluid, right? I'm still of the mindset. I'm not gonna switch up and say I want another coach. I still think I want to give him at least 20 to 25 games. That's just me. I want to give him 20 to 25 games. But in my mind, if you wanted to ask me honestly, do I think he's coaching for his job? 65%, I think he's all right now. 35%, I think he's coaching for his job. Now, that can get very fluid because as the weeks go, that 35 can creep to 40, 45. And if we get to 50-50, it's damn near already scary for him, right? I say that. Like, if we're already talking about 50-50, can he keep his job? Will he not keep his job? It's already scary. And most people are already on that type of time anyway. So there we are. But y'all let me know down below, man. Should the Raiders have been active in the trade deadline? What do you think about Scott Turner? What will he bring to us next week against Miami? I still think Miami has a little bit too much talent for us if we don't play perfect football. So y'all let me know about that down below. How do you think we'll deal with that? And also, man, coaching rumors. What is Antonio Pierce's job security level? Is he on the hot seat already? Does he need to win a certain amount of games to stay? And if so, what's the certain amount? Right? Like, where are we at? And we all understand winning those certain amount of games takes us out of a certain category, right? So we all know that. But y'all let me know, man. Very, very nice for the nation. Oh, man, your boy Run Down here to help guide y'all through it, help get it in. No live today, but make sure you guys are tapping in. We will have a live next week, next Wednesday. We definitely going live next Wednesday. We'll be breaking down how do we pull out a game versus the Dolphins, right? We're gonna break it down next week, and at the same time, we're going live on Friday with Turf for Turf and Rundown, man. So make sure you guys pull up. Gonna be a fun one, and you already know what I say every time, man. Keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground on the Raider Rundown.
I need a bad bitch with an accent, serving in peace, still taxing. Just got tapped for the young Cash App, moonwalking like a young Mike Jackson. Yeah, shots to the head, ride clean and still fuck feds. Realest nigga and it's on my kids, so who the fuck gon' wanna test me, bitch?